We are going to talk a little about tokens first, what they are, how you can use it, and a little bit more about also the Figma, how you can use it and what kind of plugins you can use it with it. And there is that Figma file which we shared with you, which we will use, and Petri will go through how it can be, how he uses it, and what you can do it with. And also, we are going to talk a little bit about the handover process, what we have implemented here. We are using Supernova in our example code that we transfer the tokens from the Figma Token Studio to Flutter code. And also, we are going to do a little bit live programming here, how we use the tokens in, and the example what we have provided, it's not finished, so we can start doing it like in cooperation. And about this session, we have something like topics what we are going to go through, but if you want to like stop and talk about something and focus on something more in detail, just raise your hand and we go through them. And yeah.
Yeah. And if you have some questions about Figma, you can just shout out for me. And if you have some Flutter things, then ask Timo.
Yeah. But yeah, so I guess, but last chance to get those materials if you haven't taken the QR code will lead to that GitHub repo, so that is the main thing.
Yeah. So just to kind of, for the background information, how many of you actually have used tokens in some projects or like in? Okay, there are a few. Yeah. And have you done like multi-branded apps or like obviously kind of different skinnings, or have you just used the tokens for like a one specific layout mode? Okay, one has used, maybe 2, 3. Yeah. Okay. And yeah, and pretty much I think Figma is quite popular these days. At least quite a few coders seem to be also using Figma, at least checking some things. And so I think it could be valuable for you to kind of know maybe some hints or tips to how to use Figma, and also, yeah. Okay. Shall I start?
Yeah, you can go.
All right. For starters, a little bit about tokens in general. As you might all know, tokens are kind of trying to become like a standardized way of using design across handover process, and like a maybe standardized API for designing things. And we on this demo we are using the Token Studio, which is at least for now it's the most advanced solution and quite capable of dealing with the tokens. And it was funny because in the middle of our preparing our presentation, of course, the Figma new big launch from the Figma came out, and now they kind of trying to incorporate tokens also into Figma, like a core of Figma. And it kind of, we need to think about the whole thing a little bit again. But luckily, still the Figma, first version of the Figma tokens, they are a little bit clumsy and quite hard to use. And still, it's kind of, this Token Studio is like way ahead of the features than there exist on the Figma right now. So that's still kind of good thing. But we are in a kind of transition process, obviously. And hopefully in 1 or 2 years, the token's gonna be like part of pretty much every coding project. And because they make it easier for designers like me and of course coders. And also they kind of improve the communication and the collaboration, because each party will know will have easily accessible like a visual representation what is happening and how the data is converging or converting. These are the basic values or basic features that you can actually tokenize right now. And maybe there are a little bit like music and audio and art direction. They are not. That's not completely true. But we are kind of getting there, that you can also tokenize things that are related to the actual branding or actual more like a user experience. And I'm pretty sure in the future quite all the features are there. And the first thing, which is, I think it's, you can tell if it is, but I think Timo said that it's the hardest part with the coding is the naming.
Yeah, and I guess it's with designers too the hardest part, but at least there are quite good examples now, and Material Design has their own, Material Design 3 has their own like example about naming things, but still like this is something that is what you should use. Like you don't have to use raw values, you have to use these token naming tokens that are named by the use case, and that is like the main thing. And it can be like you can use all of those, but normally you can just use like maybe category, type, and variant. That is enough. Still.
Yeah, and the key thing is to use as few as you can get kind of understood.
But still, if it like if you think about like some color, it can be like same color can be used in many places. You don't tokenize the color by its name, or it's like yellow something. The token can preferably you use two tokens instead of one token in many places, like because the use case the color can be something different if it's in a dark mode or something, some other brand. So you have to name it where you use it.
Yeah, and yeah, it's kind of you might know that it's like a hierarchical format with the tokens. And the first one, the domain is on the gray color here, because sometimes it's just left out, but it can be like classically it's like a 3-letter code, or also it could be like in a bigger organization it could be perhaps project number, which is like a good identifier. And then normally the category tells which is the purpose, how it's used. Is it used for color? Is it used for fonts and so on? And then the type is what element is it used used to. And then there are items, and of course variants of the items. And also the variants are like the one feature which is developing Figma like quite a much like right now. And also there are some sort of fundamental logics which are now integrated with the variants and components in Figma, which is actually super cool. Then you can get along with a lot less different like elements than it used to be. And basically the tokens in most of the cases it's kind of base to think the tokens as a base tokens which kind of are shared across the whole system, and then also semantic tokens which can be mikä se on tällainen referenssi.
Yeah, it's like using as a like description, and like it has a purpose for the special token.
Yeah.
Like,
normally as a semantic token you could reference to the base tokens and use them as a root values or some sort of like that. And then also one good way of if you check the token file, which you probably some of you have opened, it's actually quite shitty. There are like bad structs or bad naming and bad everything, but it's okay, we can admit it. But there are of course so many ways of doing the things. And one good way of doing the thing is that actually that you group the tokens according to the different purpose, like different radiuses, different shadows, different dimensions, typography, and then of course you can group the themes under like a bigger container. And then the semantic tokens are normally, they are the, which you actually have to pay attention to naming, because they should tell like explicitly what would change and what element is changing. And there is also in the file, there is like a tiny visual guide, which you, when you change the theme, it actually updates the guide as well. Not the typography, but the rest of the guide will be updated automatically. And then, yeah. And in Figma, basically, just go through the slides very quickly, but we will show this in practice later. There are actually, if there is some sort of like a strange event that some of you has to do a design system in the future, we've logged few of the, maybe my favorite add-ons or plugins, which will affect hugely on the speed, how fast you can achieve the final result. For example, the first one, the type scale, will automatically create a different variations of the scales of the type, and you can change the scale. It can be really like a dramatic or really like a conservative, if you put it that way. And then also for the colors, there are like a lot of really good tools, and these are just two to mention. And also we have been doing a lot of projects which actually deal with accessibility. And there are like this color contrast checker, stark and color print. They are like really good tools, kind of validating if the design is okay, or if there is some problem with maybe some group of people who can see like color same way as we normally do. And then some good things when you go to create the foundations, there is this called a batch styler and also styler, and it actually makes it really more efficient to create the styles and like create multiple styles at the same time. And then you can organize the styles. And then there is like a tiny plugin, which is a component page, which helps. There is like an annoying feature in the Figma. When you create a component, you kind of, it becomes the visual element which you actually assign that it is a component. It actually makes it the component, but it helps you a lot more than actually it creates the instance at the same time. So this is like a nice little helper, but that also removes one annoying bug, feature from the Figma. And then, of course, when you have a lot of layers and you create the design system, sometimes there are like colors are in different order or fonts are in different order. But with the select layers, you can actually like a mass organize layers, which is nice. And this rename it, you can actually at the same time rename those layers. Like you can use some conditional logic, and it helps you to rename the files or the layers or the elements as you want it. And then the simple sort is also sorting. When you normally in some design systems you can have like many hundreds of elements if you think of all the states of the different buttons and everything, and it can become quite a mess easily. But this simple sort is pretty neat because you can categorize and you can drag and make a new order and everything for the variants. It's nice. And there are, of course, tools for the documentation. If you need to kind of do some automatic style guides, this is actually pretty cool, the last one. It's not the fanciest style guide, but it automatically creates a style guide, which is, I think, to me, because I've done the design like 20 years, so it's always pain in the ass to do the style guide, because it's quite boring and like quite repetitive work, but that kind of makes it easier. Of course, this is not so fancy that client probably don't want not so good style guide, but you can try. And yeah, and the first one actually here, the assign color value, the text is also removed because it's really annoying to copy paste always the hex value from the color. You pick it and then you copy and paste it to the text document, but this does it automatically, which is nice. And then about the tokens, there are quite a few plugins. First one is basically the little bit more like inspecting how this Figma element will look as a Flutter code, as a Dart. And then also there is a design tokenizer which will automatically generate various design. And then there are like multiple more of those token plugins, but as I said earlier, we have been using this Token Studio because it's pretty good at the moment. And then these are actually super good thing, maybe to store somewhere, because these are, well, of course we all have our favorites, but these are at least one of my favorites, Figma shortcuts, which will make your life a lot faster and a lot easier. I recommend you, if you use Figma, use at least those shortcuts and make your life a lot easier. But in the end, Figma is like a super cool tool, and as most of you probably have used Adobe tools for like many years, and they have been always like, okay, I have to use it because I don't have anything else to use. This is like the worst, really bad, but okay. But now I think Figma is like a really good tool, and every day when I'm using it, I'm really happy. And now only thing that I'm worried that when Adobe has bought it, should it like soon become like a bloated and cluttered piece of some, and hopefully not. Hopefully the UI will stay as sharp and as super cool and super nice as it used to be with Figma. Yeah. And then there is a slide, you can learn more.
Yeah.
Yep, that's about it.
So, live demo of the Figma.
Yeah, okay.
You are going next still.
All right, yep. I thought that I have a
Short break here.
Yeah.
Not yet.
So each of you had kind of opened the Figma and got tokens in and okay. First thing you have to kind of is to yep. You have to download this Figma tokens plugin.
But you can show it.
Yeah, I can show it. Yeah.
But I can, yeah.
All right. Here. Okay, let's go. And if you, well, basically, adding Figma plugins is super easy. You go to the, can you see the texts? Yeah, I'm not sure if I can make it. Maybe I can, actually I can change the resolution. Let's change it a little bit. Where the hell can I change the resolution? Ah, okay, thanks. And now it's, is this only HD? No. Better? Or worse? No, now it's kind of like a, well, now we can't see the screen anymore. That's, maybe this, now it's good. Yeah. All right. Okay. First shortcut for you Figma users is the command and dot. Basically, you can hide and show the navigation. That's basically you use always. And to get the plugin, you go to the plugins, and then you go here, find more plugins, and then you just type here token, like Token Studio, and it will appear. And then there's this three dots. If you want to save it as your favorite, you click it, and then you select Save to your favorite plugins, and then it actually appears on the favorites all the time. But normally, if you don't want, you just press Run and go for it, and it will open this kind of screen if the demo effect doesn't happen. Okay. Yep, here we have the token studio. And on the left side, there are token sets. And the global set is basically the foundation or the base set of everything, which will inherit the values to the themes and whichever layer sets you want to create. And this is pretty standard convention of creating colors. Basically, you give them values like a red 50 to red 100 to and so on to the 900. And sometimes it's good to use the 950 also. But basically, they represent like the luminance scale of the different color spectrum.
One question. They are asking for credentials to use something like that?
Yeah, just cancel it.
Yep.
Just cancel.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's a screen goes inside. You have to click the button and then cancel.
Yeah, I guess it was that way. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. 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 Okay, on the left side there are these layer sets, and it's up to you how you split them. But maybe the core rule is that the bigger the system, more you kind of should probably use the subsets. So you can easily activate them and deactivate as you like. And on the right side we have the tokens, and basically there is also like a numerous way of generating the tokens, but one thing is that you can hard code values to them. Like we have done, as I said, that it's really bad token set here. We have hard coded like the text font size values as a pixels, which is always really bad. Don't do that, but I've done it, so you don't have to. And then there are like different, for example, spacing. We have used a little bit more advanced thing, that we have a base value, and then you could have also a scale along with the base value. But now we have just a base value, and we use that base value as an reference for the other values. And then basically you can also configure what the spacing with your design is. And then here we have few examples of the different shadows, and then we have like a basic typography examples or basic styles, just a few, because initially we were planning to use this, showed you the example using this M3 material design free, but it's so like immensely complicated and hard to grasp, so it even took us like 2 days to kind of figure out what the hell is going on with the file. So we decided that it's not like a proper example for this sort of like a learning thing. So we made this lot more simpler. And then it kind of pays off to have like a font families. Normally it's like if you consider of the web design or whatever design it, normally it's just that the client has like a one font for the headers and one font for the like a body text, and that's actually pretty convenient because it's pretty much always like that. And then the only problem with the text is that you have to have like normally different tokens for different font phases, because as you all know, some fonts have only like a normal and bold cut, and other fonts can have like medium or semi-bold or whatever, but it's not like consistent. So you have to kind of define those separately. And also the line heights can be set. Letter spacing can be set. Paragraph spacing can be set. And then text case, basically pretty much anything that you actually tweak in Figma can be set as a token these days. And from my experience working with the coders, I think it's hardest thing, and it's actually really understandable, because for a designer it might take like, if you don't have like a superpower that you instantly grasp the visuals like a hawk or something, but it takes like years to kind of spot the pixels and spot the white spaces and spot the paddings and everything. And of course, it's hard for the coders as well. But the good thing is that with the tokens, maybe the hardest things which are the white spaces, defining the white spaces and defining the paddings, that's maybe the most helpful thing, which gonna change a lot of things.
And that is something that I would like to have a semantic token even for the inner padding for every view and that kind of thing. But because those are the elements that usually changes because the product owner or the designer has a bad day and they want to change everything. So, and the programmers are in the hell. But
yeah. Is it like programmers are in the hell like normally, consistently?
Yeah, with you guys. Yeah.
Was there any other designer here? Just who is on my side? Yeah. Good. Two. I'm relieved.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. This is the collaboration.
Yeah.
I'm against you.
Yeah, you are wrong.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So basically, here are the values. And then, which is also a good thing with the Token Studio, and also now when the Figma has more like this coding capabilities or handover capabilities have improved, there is also inspect features in Figma. But here we can see, I can demo you, which is pretty cool. On the left side, of course, there is this tree where you can access different pages. And now we made like a super cool super bad example here, which is this could be like a chat software or whatever, and then basically this when you have tokenized the design, it's actually super easy. Just with one click you can see the dark version, and this is pretty neat. And whatever you want to, we might do some party version because it's party again tonight, and just make it in real time. But so you can see how easy it actually is when you tokenize the things.
One quick question: do you still need this plugin because there are variables now in Figma, or do variables actually replace this plugin?
Yeah, that's a good question. In some ways, Figma is getting there. Yeah, but I think it takes some time. And actually, when I try to kind of utilize the Figma's variables, or well, call it tokens, they are like the usability of the interface is not so good. So it maybe takes some time.
Another question.
Are we supposed to see those tokens that you are seeing? Because ours are empty.
You have to import the file.
We don't see this download token JSON.
Can you show where you can bring them, like tools?
Oh yeah. Okay. You can import the tokens. You go to the tools and load from the file. It's on the bottom left. And then you select the file, choose file, and then you just upload the.
Yes, that's the problem. Because on the thumbnail page, there's this download token thing, but we don't have that.
Oh, it's empty.
You have repository and the data folder.
Okay, yeah, it's in the repository on data folder. You can find it from there.
Yep, good.
Yeah.
I have a second question. I was able to get the design token, but I'm not able to get the Figma project.
In the repository, there's in the README, there's the link in the bottom.
Yep. Okay. I will close this. Yeah, okay. And also good one thing to mention of the Token Studio is that it sometimes crashes, and so it kind of, that's maybe not the best feature, but at least when you kind of fiddle up with many tokens at the same time, it might crash, and then it kind of pays off to, from time to time, export the file to JSON, which you do it like this, and then there is a preview of the code, and then you just select all token sets and export those to the single file, which you can then import back if something happens. And maybe might want to use index number in the end, so you have all the versions.
And there is token handlers. They are not really in good shape either, like Figma, but still it's like when you get it working, it's really nice. But still, it can take quite a lot of pain to get it working. But still,
Yeah.
But this is an example which works quite well.
Yeah, and also one thing which will help you like really much. There are more than 10 different like really good design systems which actually have been incorporated tokens as well. And when you search from the web, you easily find them and basically go through those, download what you can for free, and also it might be worth kind of a good investment to maybe buy one or two of the best ones. Maybe Cabana could be recommendable, and then you can see that there's also like a quite complex way of using tokens and quite sophisticated good things you can achieve. Yeah, and then we have this super nice form example, which is of course tokenized right now. What are we gonna show then?
I guess that's enough.
Yeah.
For you, I can jump in.
Yeah, you can jump in and I can come to give you some hints.
Let's change the laptop. Let's see.
Yeah. Sure.
It's
this one. Yeah.
Okay, that's better. So, let's see. So you are seeing now, and as a developer, there are a couple of things that we could go from, like Figma, and first thing is of course the new developer mode. Like usually, inspect tools are the things that I use, and well, there's the Flutter Figma to code, and you can even get Flutter code here, and this is quite nice. If you look at it, it's like the code here is really like a Flutter code, but but I don't like it because it's like it's always the same. There are like hard values. This is something that I cannot really use in real life because this is like enforces copy-paste like coding, and usually I like to componentize everything and so on. So this is like something that I can just read and get a hint how I could do this, but that's almost all. But if you go back to the developer mode, and I will open the Token Studio also, and here's some tools that here is also the inspect tools that I can use, and if I select the same component here, and here is like the tokens that I should use to do this component, and this is more important inspect tool if you are using like tokenized designs. And we can show a couple of elements. There are like body and fonts and everything like that. And one thing, you should have the deep inspect on, like I have already. And yeah. Also, when we go to Visual Studio Code, damn, that is small. But yeah, there's this plugin that you can inspect the design, and here is also what you can see as a CSS. This is something that Jens from Wikiput showed quite nicely. Here is on the audience there, but yeah, and they had a little bit better. They had the semantic token there and that kind of stuff. But I'm not going through that much. But I think first we should go a little bit about this example project. What is here and why? And hopefully you have downloaded it already. Hopefully you also see nicely. But there's a small project, and well, I guess we can go to main file. Well, this is something that I will go through maybe later. But this is like we are using, in this example, I wanted to use like material theme and bring some extensions to it, so we can use the material theme and our custom styles and design combined. And in this example, we have like done this for colors and textiles, and this is like the most important part, that there is like we have created this app theme and app dark theme that are extended with these values. But I will go through a little bit later how I use those, how I do this theming. And I guess we can go to the chat list is something, and this is like an example how you can use them in code as from the like context.
Can you tweak the resolution a little bit? Because on the back seat you can see.
Is it better?
Good.
Yeah. But yeah. But not so much about the example. The main thing is like this is like in a different package. You can have it in the code, but I just wanted to do it in a different package. And here we have this tokens folder, and here is like values. These are generated values, and we use Supernova to do this. You can use many other things, but at least with Supernova there is like it was quite nice what they generated straight away without any different like heavy configurations. And here you can see quite a lot of values, but you don't need everything. They are like in the bottom, they are like the semantic values. And with textiles there's, well, yeah, there are a lot of stuff. But one thing is like when you are doing this, you need to work with this, like when you are doing this theme extension, you need to create this theme extension class, and here is like it needs copy width and lerp functions, and but here is like the section where I create those custom values with the light theme and the dark theme. And same is with the typography. Usually this is something that maybe doesn't change, but in our example we are changing the font, even when changing from dark mode to light mode just to change, to show it is possible to do that. And also there is this spacing. This is something that I'm using right out of the light mode. This is something that we can work on with this workshop, that we refactor this to support also the change of token sets. And that is something that if you have like a different token set for like a, let's say, pad or something like that, you might have a different spacing values that you want to use there. But then comes the fun part, the theme data. And this is something where we override the material style with our colors. And the trick here is like I have this app theme, which is the light theme. It could be named a little bit differently, but there could be like the party theme or something else if you would like to. With material design, material theme, there's like a lot of these theme values that can be override. Basically, every material theme component has its own, and it can be override. And in this example, we are using the colors and the typography that we use it here to like override it, and yeah. And also in this project we have this gallery app. This is like a separate project that we use to like visualize the tokens. It could be something like Wikiped also if you want to construct that kind of stuff, but this is like just for the demo purposes. And I think this is the first thing that we are going to run here. And show in action what is happening here. Let's use iPhone for this emulator. There's also Android, but let's go with this. Yeah, so here are like our tokens visualized. We have the colors. We are using like we are providing with the material design with the seed color. So if you are knowing about the material design tree, you can give it only a seed color and it generates all the values based on that. There are a couple of examples how it would look. Then the custom colors of what we are using. And here's the set what we have. You can do whatever you want to visualize here. Also with the spacings, we have these values. They are like a little bit scaling just to know what they are. But still it's like if you have a different kind of values, you would see the change here if something changes. And also with the typography, I just used here as an example, there is this material fonts still usable, but there is our custom fonts also available here. And because we are supporting the dark mode, of course we want to show it. And we just change, this is, sorry this is in Finnish, so, but still it's, I'm changing the dark mode on and then everything changes to dark mode. And also if you go to colors, here are the dark mode colors available here. So it can change live. And also the spacing, this is nothing special. But yeah, so that is the example gallery app, and then we can show the other one. I don't think I would need to run it, but still it's like if we want to make some suggestions, it would be nice. So yeah, this is our application now on dark mode. This is not one-on-one with the design, but almost. And like I said, we have this form section still in progress, but we can start working with that if we want in this workshop. And also like there are some elements that are not like overridden with our token set. Like this widget here is not like we need to implement the theme override, so it would change with the dark mode and light mode. And of course we can show it when we switch back to light mode. It's same looking. But still, I guess there are little font change also. I don't know if Petri has made some tweaks, but still it's like. But yeah, so any questions so far? Yeah?
How do you ensure that your tokens are up to date with the Figma design change?
Yeah, so maybe we can do a little live demo. Let's see how it works. What can go wrong? But still it's like what would be nice thing to do. Petri, you are better with the Figma. let's say, what we want to do. Some color, default color, should we change that with the dark mode?
Okay, so you want to create another mode or?
You can do it.
Okay, so you want to,
Let's do a little change in light token and let's try it.
okay. Yeah, well, basically, well, if you have a
But yeah,
My question was more about, do you automate it somehow? Because like I got to do it manually. It's like it's void and it's like error. It's like
okay, yeah.
I want to change or something. So
Okay, then
okay.
yeah, this is something that we want to do, like automate. This is like we have a half automated version at the moment. Like we upload here to Supernova and then click again to make it to the code. But yeah, we haven't done the automation yet, but this is something that I would like to see. And one thing, of course, here is like, do you want to automate it right away? But because like with these kind of tools, like designer can do that export to the like code and see if it looks like what he likes, and then he can or she can do the pull request, and there are the changes.
yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. So like for example, now we have separate repository that contains all exported tokens, and if there's a change, they release new version, and then GitHub Actions will just like create automated PR to our like Flutter repository, and then we can move those changes. I don't know if colors change or something, and then we are using detailer. I don't know if you know familiar with detailer. It will generate anything like lamp functions, OPV functions, and it will support several themes. If you have like light blue theme, not like only light, dark, light blue and stuff. But do you use it? Like how do you use it maybe? Or you are just like figuring out automation? That's the question.
I guess there are no like a real answer. It depends about the case. Like what is the need case for the.
Like, do you use automation and code generation, or anything you change to Figma, you have to change manually so far?
No, we don't have to change. Like what we change here, it's like upload to SuperCloud. We are now using Supernova, and I guess I can show it. It should not change anything, but let's see. Where is the Supernova? So this is what we are using at the moment for the export. And here is like where you can change, like select the values, like we are using this draft version, but there is also like different versions, and also like default branch. And this is not something that is working at the moment, Supernova, but still it's like hopefully in future there is like a different token sets. And this is something that we need to a little bit tweak at the moment, because we investigated quite many tools how you can do this, and there are not any of them are perfect at the moment. But yeah, but still but when I generate this stuff, I guess it's like hopefully it's light set, but when we are starting to generate this, and let's wait a minute, override.
But again, it's something that you have to do like to start manually.
Yeah.
Like, something like part of GitHub Actions, so it's up to date with the.
Yeah, it should be like that.
Yeah. But we are not there.
Yeah, this is like an example about how you can do this like on a half automated. But yeah.
And actually, I could say that it would be super nice to hear if somebody is more experienced on the issue here. It would be super nice to hear how you are doing it also.
Yeah, but still it's like this has the dark mode set here and exported, but still it's like you see the changes, what is changed in tokens, and still it's like when designer changes something in the design, we just export it and apply it, and then we have it here. So we don't have to like copy paste it from the Figma. So this is like half automated already. But
We are in the middle of transition from 0 to Supernova, so like part of like the acquisition of it, I still haven't started yet, so maybe my problem is that I don't yet familiar with the Supernova.
Yeah.
And it's actually, even though it's not like fully automated at the moment, it's actually super nice that we were doing a project for Burger King, and then basically the framework was kind of suitable for other food brands as well. And then after that we did a change for another mikä se on, ruoka, that sort of fast food company, which is also pretty big. And then the change is because they were happy with the flow and they were happy with the structure of the basic usability and everything. It took us 2 days to kind of modify the whole software in the totally other brand. So, and it was, well, actually it was maybe, yeah, well, that was also the communication with the client and everything, but in the end it was probably like 3 hours that the actual process took. And hopefully we're gonna get to the click and change status.
But yeah, the main point here is like when you are using the design tokens, like the fundamentals of your code and design, then it's like when you change only the values, then everything should change. Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody has a question? Yeah.
With specify, you could already automate it
Okay.
and also push it, but they didn't have support for the token scheme, but they are now going to implement it.
Okay.
We already have some project that automatically changes things and also updates developers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're working at the specified.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Good to hear.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It was also one option for our process.
But so yeah.
Another question?
Yeah.
When you implement the app, you first you design every page for the app in Figma and then implement it in Flutter, or do you have a few like templates that you use and then you do the theming based only on the templates? Like, what's your workflow?
I would prefer the design first, but it's not always possible. But I guess this is like something that is, well, if the designer doesn't use tokens, it's really hard to use them as a programmer also. So if the design is made with the tokens, then it's easy to like develop also. And I guess with the here in the tokens, there's like this, was it the components or not the components?
What are you trying?
Style guide.
Yep.
This is something that is, I think, the most important thing that I liked as a coder. And so especially like this button component, when I see what is the possible values that I need to support. And here's like different kind of states, that kind of, and then I can start working with it. And I usually would like to even implement the components first, and then start to build views. But this is something that usually in the project there is a hurry with somebody, and you have to start doing the views, and then you might use the hard-coded values, and then you need to refactor everything, and it's really painful. But like, I have to say, like implementing this like tokens and the like integration with them, it takes quite a lot of time. Not well hours, but still it's like something which is not the nicest thing to do when you have to copy paste these values and that kind of stuff. This is like something that is not generated yet, this lerp function and that kind of stuff. But this is something that you can quite easily do search and replace stuff like that, but still. But yeah, but when you get this working, it's something that should not change, because there's like this only source of truth files, these token files, these are the things that should change. Nothing else should change. If there comes like some designer who wants to change some value, the token only changes, nothing else. So yeah, and that's why it's like tokens, components, and then views, if it's possible. But still, it's like here I did the view first, and then did the tokenizing. But still, it's like then you have to refactor it. But still, it's like depends upon the application. And, yeah. And of course, if you like, if you have like a white labeling like application, then you have to even more think about how you like tokenize stuff. If you have to tokenize even views or that kind of stuff, and you have to think about how you can change it. And very important thing is like to use stateless components and bring all the stuff that can change from outside. Keep the logic and view separated. But yeah. More questions?
And maybe just to show one thing that, of course, there are like a lot of, also Figma, okay. You had a Figma here?
Yeah. Cool.
Oh, this one here? You can have a lot of like different applications like Specify and also that actually visualize the code. But one like a really cheap thing is to actually use the tokens straight inside Figma. And of course you could add the token names here at the same guide, but it's actually pretty easy. Where are my plugins? Your plugins. There. Oh.
Well, I have.
Yeah, you have two. Awesome. Yeah. So you don't kind of have to necessarily, at least when you practice things, when you learn these things, I think it's not worth paying anything. And Specify was pretty expensive. The price was a little bit steeper, yeah. But of course, your software looks really good. So, but of course, it's depending on the project and on the scale, how big of a system you have to build. And then one option is just to use like a Figma to visualize things and use the tokens here, which is actually super easy and super neat way of showing different states for the components and everything.
Yeah.
So.
I see you have a few icons there. Does Supernova also export it for you, or do you have to do it manually?
Yeah, you can use like resources like SVGs and yeah, you can use them automatically.
Plugins exporting it for you, or is this something that manual?
No, it's actually not manual. It's you can automate that also. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm not 100% sure about that, but at least with it depends about which tools we are using for like the conversion process. At least with Supernova, there are like only these values that they are supporting at the moment, like the border size, borders, colors, dimension, gradients, ready, shadows, and textiles. But yeah, well, you can tokenize almost anything, but still it's like the different thing is how you export them to the Flutter side. And this is an example about at least with the colors and text, which are most important, and the spacings. And of course, like some roundings and like some button sizes, but those are also spacing values and that kind of stuff. But still, it's like you can go really long with it, but still, it's need little bit like even trial and error to get this working at the moment. So there's like a really good place to develop these kind of tools where you can do this process.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
And it's maybe worth mentioning if you are kind of starting to learn the token stuff. With the Token Studio, you need the paid version to have like multiple paddings on a single element. Well, if you want to create a button which is more flexible, you actually need the paid version to have like a different horizontal and vertical values. But maybe there's a workaround around that. But yeah, but you can do quite neat stuff with the free version as well.
But should we try out the party version?
We can try out. Let's see what will happen.
Yeah. Do you want to take your own laptop? Yeah. Yeah. Let's do a little demo.
Yeah.
If we change the token.
Yeah. So hopefully everybody is attending to the party like today. Let's see what I can do with this. What would go wrong, I could say, at this point. Yeah. So basically, the easiest way to generate like a new theme is to take example the dark theme, and then you can just duplicate it. Let's make it like a new name, which is like a party, whatever. And then it's actually, there's a new theme right now. Of course, now it's identical to the dark theme, so it really doesn't kind of change much. But you can, one thing that you can actually add here is you can add assets, which could be like an image. And this is pretty cool because this is so like easy. You can go to like Unsplash. Yep. Okay, I don't have the internet. It must be up. Where is my hotspot? Yep. Yep. Let's go to the Unsplash again. Reload. And let's have whatever image would be nice as a background image. This one would be nice. I will copy the image link. Then I will go to the big image. Where is the public? There. And I will create it. And now I have the background which is supposed to work. When I select the whole container and I put it as a, yeah, that's pretty easy. Now you have like a quick demo of the background. And then, of course, now there is like bad colors. Let's have the text here. And then, well, let's change. What else could we change?
Maybe something green color, because it's.
Yeah, that's true. Green is better. And of course, you can generate the gradients here also. I'll copy the gradient there. And if you want to replace this with gradient, you just generate.
Let's see how this works, because
Yeah.
so again, designer doing something stuff that I'm not sure if it's tokenized, like
Designer-
export is not supporting this kind of tokenizing, so let's see.
Yeah, this. Yeah, and then I will put it on the gradient group. And then I will give it like my first gradient. Yeah. Then I will add here. Nope. There. No, it didn't generate. Yep. Okay, now we have a gradient here. Well, and then we can change the colors. Let's have a like this one here. Okay. Yeah. Nope. It doesn't work. Just a second. What would go wrong? Yeah, I'm copying something from Kapana. Should be this one. No. Yep. Okay, so basically now we have a gradient on the background. And if we want to change the headline font, we can do it just by changing whatever font here. And you can, this can be a reference name or just you can pick whatever font you like Comic Sans. Do we have that? That's, yes, we have that. Yeah. And now we just have to edit this token. Yeah. No, actually it's not working. Since the font is not changing right now, so we have some issues with that. But basically, as we said earlier, pretty much anything is kind of configurable. This probably shouldn't be done in a real life demo, but yeah. Yeah, what could we say in the end? Actually, I'm super happy working with the tokens because they kind of help my work as a really much. Of course, when it's like a small scale project, even the basic stuff is generate the Figma styles, but the tokens are a little bit more time demanding, and it's a trade back. I wouldn't probably use them if the project is like 4 days or something like a really small stint. But whenever there is like a bigger corporation or bigger thing or maybe different skinnings involved, I would definitely use always tokens. And even as a coders, it could be pretty obvious that in the future years you're going to also work with the tokens, and so the story will probably go. And I think it pays off to kind of keep be at this time to kind of be at the head of the curve. Or do you have anything else to ask? Even stupid questions, those are the best ones.
I have one stupid question. Were you scared about Figma when Adobe announced that they are going to buy it?
Yeah, of course. Of course, I was like paralyzed because it kind of instantly came into the mind that, oh no, soon this is gonna be just a pile of Adobe things, just cluttered and yeah, but no, I don't want to kind of give a bad name to the Adobe. Yeah, but hopefully they will like change, do it differently with Figma. Yeah. And maybe what will happen if they kind of clutterize Figma, then somebody else is developing Figma something else, and then the process goes on. Maybe the Figma developers are then generating Figma with another name and 3.0.
I think by looking how Microsoft didn't screw up with GitHub, we have a chance of Figma getting better.
Yeah.
One thing, there was a question about like where to inspect stuff and that kind of stuff. And one thing about like the tokens and Token Studio and Figma is like you have to decide what is the source of truth. And at the moment, I guess our source of truth is the Token Studio. And you cannot have the Figma as a parallel. They will just confuse. And this is something that is really, I guess, designers have to decide where the source of truth is. But And it is something that can mix up quite a lot, but yeah.
Yeah.
And this is something that maybe the designer need to refactor quite a lot if they want to change, and they need to refactor again. This is normal for coders, but still.
How is it with the specifier? Can you actually have like multiple sources for the design files?
Also, yeah,
Can you use token? Well, Token Studio is not yet implemented.
not yet.
Yeah. Okay.
They just announced it, and also with
Yeah.
the variables that come to Figma. But
Yeah.
actually, we will work really close together with Specify because we know
Yeah.
the people that started it. And
Yeah.
I think 5 years ago, also a company made our own things also with tokens and also sync it. That was with Sketch.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we helped a lot with that development also.
Yeah. How do you kind of? What is your kind of take on the future of the tokens? What is the road where we are going?
I think it's like a logical step. I think it took a long time to go over there because then you speak the same language. Because also I'm a product designer, but also dabble a bit in code. So it's the logical thing to do. It's also a bit strange that we use different variables or like naming conventions through the looking forward to it, like automatization. I think developers can do a lot more like a lot more logic instead of like the UI. I think if you can just sing the UI, so a few stupid things, it'd be nice to make that.
Yeah. And also as a kind of like as a usability device, I think it would be kind of it would pay off to kind of put the developers to do maybe some more fancy UI stuff, something stretches and does fun things and everything. Then you could kind of get the basic stuff like automatically, and then you could focus on more interesting. Hey, let's add this sort of like good thing or whatever. I think it might be really nice. So you can kind of put more bugs for the experience and for the like
I think
added value.
the same thing with the the generative AI. I think just automating the basic things gives more time to complex and
Yeah. We are living interesting times.
Yeah. So, do we have our party team ready?
Yeah, this is the party. Yeah, but let's hope the party downstairs is going to be better.
But should we try to export it? Will everything break?
Sure, we can try. Yeah. Okay.
Yes. You have to change the.
Oh yeah. Okay. Let's see. But I'm
From
not
the
sure if I have the.
settings and.
Let's go here. Yeah.
And the party.
Okay. Let's have maybe here.
Only the party.
Yeah. I will take the rest of the way.
So yeah. Trying out
So the
live.
theme. Wait. Let's see. This is the automation, and this one right, like this.
Yeah.
Just the body.
Did you change any color tokens?
Yeah. Well, actually, I can change. Let's
Change the
one.
primary color at least, like it.
Yep. Okay.
Put the bottom color. So.
I will change this.
Well, you can save it. Like,
Yeah.
okay.
Let's. Okay. There. Change it to
Edit token.
this. I want to make it pink.
Pink.
Pink is nice.
Green. Green party. Draw it.
Okay. Let's have the green party.
Do we have a green?
Yeah.
Like Flutter green.
Sure we
No, not Flutter green. Under green.
Save.
And apply it.
Okay, now it's on the button text, but let's not be too picky about it. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's enough.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I'm not using that. But still, we can say.
Yep. Okay, edit.
Yeah, the
Yeah. Yeah. Save
Let's see if it works.
and push changes. Yep.
Nope. It didn't work.
It did work.
Nope.
There's maybe some error somewhere. Okay.
But yeah,
Yeah.
I like this now.
No cookies.
An example up here, you started from the material theme and the material app. But in my experience, if you want to have just to wrap it as a design system, it's kind of a pitfall to use material components and because you're kind of fighting against the material brand name. So I'm curious if you agree with that, what your take is on that. If you're better off just not using any of those material components if you're have a fully custom branded app.
I can answer that if I get like the screen. But at this example, we are using the material theme components, and we are just overriding them. So, and you can use them as both of them. So it's like I'm not like creating custom components. I'm using the material components, and this is like the main thing is like when you are applying all the changes here and in the code. Let's see, if, like the bottom bar widget, bottom up bar, you don't see any style here. They all are like override with the theme. But if you would like to have a even custom component, then you would apply them here. Like this is like a global styling. But yeah, in this example, it's like the main idea is that you have the material theme components and you override them with your own color sets, and you can even use. Well, not at the moment. You cannot use like the material basic colors there. They are not using the seed colors anymore. But still, it's like when you go to the app theme and you just comment this out, then you could use them. But still, it's like or you could create a different theme next to this where you just use the material seed colors. But still, it's
Our customer, for example, complains about so we use a lot of the around. We have a custom branding, but our customer doesn't actually like the ink wells that we have in our components because we use the built-in material stuff. So I think in that case we are better off actually to make our own codes and implementation, not use the material components.
yeah, this is something that we run into also, like the material theme components are really heavy, and this is like I guess mixture about, you can use them or make your own, but yeah.
They all out of the box and they have accessibility rights and they're adapted and stuff, but also there's some opinionated stuff in there that you can't really customize, like the ink wells, for example.
Yeah.
And also if they're all fairness, that's not maybe the slickest design.
Yeah.
Basis there is.
And we also had a discussion like I think the app already exists for 3 years, and we are starting to customize everything so much that like the essence of the basic widget or the material isn't there anymore. At which point you just say you're going to write your own.
Yeah, and that is again why it's nice to have this like a single source of truth and use them, because if you are like how I'm using the values in code, there's like this is quite an important thing even. Like let's say, was it in the views, set view, like when there is the set list may be better, because there's like this. I'm using these and I'm using them throughout the context, then it can change when the context changes, and there are no like direct references not to the tokens. I'm using it through that context. And this is something that is really important, that you use everything throughout the context if you are trying to support at least like dark mode or light mode and that kind of stuff. And this is something that can well, I have refactored quite a lot of these things, but because it's easy to like, you could like, well, I'm not exporting it, but like you could use straight away like this. This works, but this is wrong because this doesn't support dark mode. And also, if I would export the tokens file, I could use that even, but still, it's like that is something that can change, and this is like this is something that can change, but this is something that should support like all the teams, and this is like something that you probably learn by the hard way. And here's like another thing, like this value 40. Well, it's the like in the design. Yeah, this is 40, but if the designer wants it to be 42, then it's like if it's tokenized, and if I use the token in here, like this would be, I don't know, think a name for this. This is the hardest thing. What is this? The list item header, like leading icon, height, whatever. But this is like if this has a semantic token, and I just have it in the code and or the tokens and just use it, and then designer can change it and everything should be okay. Maybe, but yeah. And this is something, well, it's easy when we are using like mobile phone screens, but if you have a pad where there is a little bit more space, this is something that probably doesn't that much change, but it can change. And with like web views, like Flutter, you can do web. There is, okay, do you want to use like this small space for everything and that kind of stuff? And of course, you have to think about this height width should not be like maybe that strict, but yeah, it's like how you build your UI. It's still there are quite a lot of things that you need to keep in mind, but still. But yeah. But usually if you start rushing and coding, it can be quite a lot of refactoring, and same with the design. If you don't use the tokens right away, it can be really, really painful to start implementing it later. And this is something that where the like what we need to discuss, and it has been really nice thing with Petri that we have been discussing what need to be tokenized, and that this is like this is easy, that you just put 40, and it's there, and then change it. And with as a coder, it will be really hard to know what changes. And if it's tokenized, even it's semi-automatic processor at the moment, still is like we can see the change with like a pull request or something like that. And if there are like new values coming with a pull request, and if we automate it with like it would be nice that if there's something changes, CI would do that export and make a PR for us right away, and then we can check it out together, and if everything looks good, and then it should be applied. Yeah.
Like you have to change it a bit, and then like, and then it's just
yeah. Yeah, here's like the star dictionary also. There's like we try it out quite a lot, but there is like it's important that the references go right, and this is something that is really painful with the tokens at the moment. Like if it's not like the references are not correct, it just doesn't work. And like the information about why it does work is like there's an error. But check the console, yeah. But still it's like and also one thing about the style dictionary, it's a really powerful tool, but it needs some coder to do the transformation logic. And some designers might have that kind of, or well, why not the mobile developer do that logic there, but still it's like again, it needs some time to focus on this like bringing this system together, and this is something in like some project there can be like really fast and trying to say I would like to have a couple of days to like implement this system, and it saves time in the long run, but still it's like it's okay choice. What are the main things that you want to like valid? What are the values of your project? But yeah.
Of course, design-wise, this definitely could be something for other kind of software. If you think of the corporation side, in the end, at least I've experienced, I've probably never used any design system for a long time, which actually hasn't like longer sheet in some point. It's kind of just flutters and things break and somebody's doing something, and it always goes like sideways at some point. And I hope that these tokens might somehow clarify. When you have like a stricter version history, you have like better analytics, like a multitude of designs, versions and version integrity. You have better communication channels, you have better integrations. I think that might actually help to that sort of like a fundamental problem. That all design systems kind of break up at some point.
Fast stream over.
Yeah, I think the first like the frustration I had was if I'm going to go like everything that they're just like primary blue or something like that, primary 500. That for me it wasn't really logical if you like read through the code. What does it mean? Like primary button and things like that.
Yeah.
That it has to be like more specific, like primary background button and things like that.
Yeah.
Also the 4D spacing, okay, spacing small and big.
Yeah.
For me it was more like
Yeah.
Couldn't read through it. That was the main thing we wrote tokens.
Yeah, and there were a good question about like using SVGs in the like code, and well, as a tokens, well, if you look at the values, well, now they are colors, but this could be like only string values with like the hexes, and this is something that, well, I'm using like I'm wrapping these values to. This is easy. Now I don't have to pass strings here, but it could be like that. But still, it's like if there are like multiple images that you need, like could change, and you just take the name there and pass it, and create a logic how you use the SVG from there. So it's like it can bloat your application. There could be like a lot of extra stuff, but still it's like possible to do that kind of stuff. But it's like that's why it's like and this can change. This is like this is the Supernova export. This is quite nice, but still there could be hopefully there will be better ones, and then you can change them, use them, and then you just create more like wrap it out that logic, and it might be that you don't need to even wrap them if it provides this like well, you don't have to use this as extensions, but this is like when you can like override the material theme quite easily. And like here, it's like I'm not using the like extension, and I'm just. This is quite nice example even, because here is like this is generic code. There are no typings, and this is like something that you can maybe do with the style dictionary, that it uses here a double, so you don't have to like do anything with it. But because it's int at the moment, so I have to make it a double, so I can use it as a like a good spacing value. And of course, we could like make these even like padding values, padding widgets here and that kind of stuff. So you componentize everything from the tokens, and that is like one procedure will be that everything here should be like done as a widget also.
Maybe it's fine.
So, any more questions, or is it party time already?